Let's be honest, half of what we do to our motorcycles is a fashion show. We want to look a certain way to attract attention. Mostly male attention. More and more to get the male gaze addicted to us on the internet, just like why women wear high heels. You see, in the 1950s, the modern high heel took to the world in the shape of stilettos. Aesthetically, it gives ladies the appearance of longer legs and a posture that accentuates the butt. And yes, I am gonna tie this into motorcycle fenders, but gentlemen, pause the video and walk around for about 30 seconds on the balls of your feet with your heels as elevated as you are comfortable. Now that we can assume you all did that, do you feel different muscles in your buttocks working? Well, there you go. Heels are a different butt shape. Now, after aesthetics, heels are all bad. Harder to walk, running is virtually out of the question, and rather than protect your feet like good shoes, you're investing all your effort into a look that is bad for your feet's health. Just like high fenders on ADV bikes. See? Tied it back in. Now, if by the end of this video you still like the idea of a split fender and you also have a Transalp or a similar bike, head over to my Patreon and you can see the full video of how I made this one on mine. And before you blow up the comment sections with how emotionally damaged you are by this video, MX riders out there, okay, you got a point, and so do the dualsport riders, but only the ones that are exclusively going to the dirt and the pavement is literally nothing to you but an obstacle to the dirt. As for the supermoto hooligans who might be watching, buckle up, because you and the ADV boys are going for a ride. To be clear, there is the split fender with high and low like I've done and some bikes like the Tenere are coming out with. And then there is the proper high fender. Just like there are different types of high heels, some pretending to be boots. Now as far as the standard high fender rather than the split kind, it does a couple of great things for your bike. For example, it blocks airflow to the radiator and helps your bike overheat unless it is specifically built for this design with a radiator that is off to one side or split down the middle. It does remove a nearly inconsequential amount of unsprung weight at the cost of putting that unsprung weight at a much higher point in the motorcycle. And that's about the only perks that the supermoto boys are getting away with. Now the next wonderful thing about a high fender is it lets rocks and road debris smash your radiator and forks, which I guess it's as useful as open-toed high heels. But that's where the split fender is nice. You don't have to reroute your brake lines, and it keeps some of the rocks and stones off, like heels pretending to be boots. Still cumbersome, but at least your feet don't get cut up. Now, as I hear you abusing the keys of your keyboard, what about mud? You see, if you keep your fender in the normal position, mud can get stuck and clog up the wheel, and can potentially crack and break the fender. Now, the obvious solution, raise the fender. Now no, don't raise it 1 to 2 centimeters or just shy of an inch like the Fender R-Tech is going to be sending me. No, that's too sensible and doesn't really look good on Instagram. What we need to do is raise it all the way up to accentuate the look of your long, luscious legs. I mean forks, to show off your forks. There's definitely nothing sexual about how you design your bike. But now that you have the fender all the way up there, you can just spray the mud all over your forks to prematurely wear out your seals and probably cause a leak sooner than later. Then you can get it all over your frame to get rust much sooner than you would have expected. And finally, you get to cover the radiator with mud so that now, when you don't wash your bike literally every time and quickly after every ride in the dirt, it will overheat for sure. And to avoid the overheating issue of this fender that now blocks your radiator, you do have the option to buy a different kind of shoes. I mean fenders that have slits in the back for airflow and mud flow straight through the fender to make you sit there and wonder, what's the fender even doing back there? And this all makes perfect sense because instead of cracking the $80 fender, which I've never seen happen, even though you definitely go in the mud all the time. You're definitely in the mud. You're definitely not that super pimped out Jeep at Walmart that is polished and chrome sparkling because it's never seen dirt a day in its life. That's not you. It is completely worth protecting your $80 fender so that you can mess up your $400 or more radiator and everything that encompasses with overheating issues and damages. Because again, you're definitely the hardcore mud boy and definitely not doing this to post on Instagram like the thirst trap you know you really are. But I do have to say, after I've had it on my bike for about a month, the look really is starting to grow on me. I mean, look at those long legs. I mean, they're the same length, but they look longer. Whew. And look at those flawless curves up by the waist. Ooh, baby, she can catch my mud, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I mean, sure, it's gonna catch a bunch of wind at speed, making it dangerously unstable because you've put a sail on the front of your bike. But damn, do she look good. I mean, that really settles it. It's not a fashion show. This is an important mod I've done. And I'm sure this video won't be controversial whatsoever, so we can safely end it there. And there's definitely no need to make a follow-up about how these armored base layers are the best possible ADV gear with some Packlight rain gear that you can tuck away effortlessly or have when you need it. Because ADV gear is clearly just a high-end fashion show, and we're all waiting for Gucci to come out with a jacket that can, in fact, functionally have 50 pockets that you put absolutely nothing in. Now, before you leave, take a look at the comment section to see who's taking a break from crying into their pillow to leave a mean comment because I've shattered their masculinity. If you do find that comment, give it a like and maybe a nice reply. They're clearly fragile and in need of some emotional support. But after that, you might like this video. And remember, I mean every opinion I have ever shared, ever. There's no chance this was a ha-ha funny moment. You're right to be offended. Bye-bye.